to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakakwadash. And I would also like to give a double honors unto the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone who do well, that have taught me this truth. And I would also like to say a sincere shalom to the hopeful elect, unto the scattered elect, unto the servants, the prophets, the men, the brothers that are out there prophesying and laboring in this truth and in this doctrine unto you. I say shalom. Another classic case of not in trouble like other men, all right? It's like the men of the Lord, the prophets, we've seen this all the time. We see this go on, all right, for decades, for centuries, all right, where nothing is never able to stick to these devils, okay? When was the last time you seen a small hat locked up, all right, or even indicted for a crime? And this is the classic case right here where this small hat, he basically got all the federal charges dismissed, and he was running a biolab out of his home or the home he was renting out here in Las Vegas. But he gets off scotch-free. While if a Jake, even though I don't condone no drug use, if Jake got a rock, all right, or a piece of a rock, or any type of what Esau deems a controlled substance, they getting at least 5 years, or they gonna do some time. But Esau, all right, you should clearly see who's in control, who controls this wicked world that we live in, that allows this, okay? But at the same time, Jay getting hit with years. All right, so I'm gonna read this. I ain't gotta read it, man. This weirdo right here. He's just getting off, all right, and he's going back to Israel. They ain't gonna. Let me see if they're gonna say anything. But he's gonna go back. He basically got diplomatic immunity. All right, Ori Solomon, a property manager arrested in connection with an illegal biolab at a Las Vegas short-term rental, is no longer facing federal charges. Channel 13 learned that Solomon's federal charges were dismissed without prejudice. However, he still faces criminal charges in Clark County for improper disposal. That ain't shit. He's going to pay a fine. Okay? Let me see what else it say. This all stems from an investigation that local and federal officials discovered what has been called an illegal biological lab inside of a home he managed near Washington Avenue and Hollywood Boulevard. So that's over in basically where Jake stay. Okay, but like I say, they said he had HIV, malaria. He probably had all kind of shit in there. He had different strands of the 19. He probably had the hantavirus in there. Okay, and who knows what he was doing with them. Okay, they might have been releasing them at your local grocery stores or whatever. Okay, putting them in certain air ducts in certain establishments so where the air circulates and people get infected. This is the type of devil that we're dealing with. But why is it that they get off? Okay, they get off scot-free all the time. And in the eyes of men, they may be getting off, but we know that the Lord has a judgment waiting for them. Okay, because just last year, this pedo, and he was an official in the Israeli government. He was running a pedophile ring out here, and he got off. All right, I'm gonna play this right here. This is like 7 months ago.
Has been indicted by a Clark County grand jury. News 3's James King joins us for the live desk with the crime that he's believed to have committed and what is next. James?
Marie, the indictment of Israeli official Tom Alexandrovich is related to a sexting operation conducted by Metro Police and other agencies. He was one of 8 suspects arrested in that operation. Now, according to those arrest reports, he is accused of using online platforms to meet a juvenile in Las Vegas. Today, he was in.
It's way deeper than that. All right, you gotta. Our people don't understand. Our people just close a blind, have a blind eye when Esau is, doing this shit. They'll say, all this wicked and all that, but they don't understand until it hits home for them. All right, where their daughter or son or somebody is trafficked, okay, or gone missing. All right, a brother just posted something. I want to say in Virginia, where I don't know how many, but it was a nice number of Jakes that went missing, juvenile Jakes that went missing out there. All right, so they either sex traffic or their organs are probably being harvested. Okay, but news when it concerns Jake, if they're doing wickedness, all right, it's going to be on your front page of your news of your social media, and if they're going missing, you won't ever know about it. Okay, and even if they make a uproar about it, that'll be news for 1 week, and then you'll never hear about the shit again. All right, because the devil runs this society. Okay, it runs this current setup. Okay, that's why it shouldn't be no reason why you want to uphold this place because it's fallen. All right, let me play a little bit more of this. And like I said, this took place over 7 months ago or so.
Luring children with the use of technology with the intent to engage in sex. Alexandrovich was arrested on August 6th after allegedly attempting to meet a 15-year-old girl and was then taken into custody but released the following day after posting a $10,000 bail. Now,
$10,000 bail. Okay, that's nothing to a small hat. All right, but Jake get caught for anything, it's at least $100,000 bail. Okay, $100,000 or sometimes $500,000. Okay, or even $1 million. All right, so like I said, they're not in trouble like other men. All right, why is that? Because they're in their rulership. They have dominion right now. All right, they're ruling in wickedness, and hey, it's being seen. All right, the world is the Esau is being revealed. All right, and it's being revealed to those that he need to be revealed to, because 2/3 of our people, they're still going to turn a blind eye and act like Esau. Their whole mindset is Esau's fucked up, but he's all right. He's all right long as he's giving you EBT and Section 8 and giving you some type of benefits. Okay, this devil is wicked all around. Okay, well, so let me finish playing this.
With attorney Ron Zambrano prior to the Israeli official's first scheduled appearance in court, who said that even if he is found guilty, it's unlikely he'll serve time in the U.S.
What I believe will happen is that there'll be some attempts to do formal charges and do a trial, but he's currently not in the U.S., and I doubt the Israeli government will allow its own foreign national to be sent back to Nevada for purposes.
Right. So when they get a first-class ticket back to Israel, and that's the end of it. Okay, that's the same play that the wicked ass Catholic priests do. All right, they go to these different parishes, and here in Babylon and Central in South America, they molest kids. And when they finally get caught, what do? They send them back to the Vatican, and so they can't be prosecuted. Okay, that's what Esau does. Okay, that's their whole play. All right, but they're being revealed. All right, the world can see who the world is. If they can't see, they're seeing who the devil is. All right, both of these devils is probably already back in Israel. Okay, they're not going to face no charges. And the Metro Police out here ain't gonna extradite them. They ain't gonna send no task force to extradite them back to the states to serve to serve judgment or stand trial. All right, like I said, they're not, like the scripture says, they're not in trouble like other men. Okay, if a nigga had any biolab, oh man, that nigga ain't posting no bail. They gonna say he's a flight risk. He's a risk to the community. Okay, they're gonna put even if the nigga do post bail, they're gonna put an ankle monitor on him. You think them small hats had any ankle monitor on them or anything? Hell no. All right, because this is their kingdom, this is their rulership. All right, this is Psalm 73, and I'll start at 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. All right, and these devils, they continue to prosper. Okay, it seems like they to the world. All right, they feel like they're too slick. They can never be caught. But the Most High sees them. All right, the Most High, the Most High is sees their wickedness. All right, and the prophets are pointing it out and warning our people to get off the Edomite bandwagon. All right, because you're going to go down right along with them. All right, verse 4: For there is no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. All right, hey, Jake dealing with in the judicial system, that's a plague. Okay, that's like, even if you're innocent, you got to go through. You got to spend thousands upon thousands on a lawyer. Go, have all this type of evidence and DNA evidence just to get to hopefully get off. You know how many Jakes is locked up that's in prison, that's innocent, where they have to bring DNA evidence 10, 20, sometimes 30 years later to exonerate this person. And then what does Esau, what did Esau give you after that? All right? They don't give you shit. They was, oh, we'll give you $1 million. What is $1 million? You took away this person's life. Okay? And they do that all the time. All right? Not Esau. They're not, because it says they're not in trouble like other men. I want to read this in the NLT, see what it says. Verse 5. They don't have troubles like other people. They're not plagued with problems like everyone else. They're not plagued with the problems. All right? Man, a Jake on trial for anything, man, they just like, man, they don't know if they're going to get life. They don't know if they're going to get 10 years, 20 years. That's why it's so jacked up for Jake where, you know, Jake is so ready to take a plea deal. Okay, yeah, I'll just give me the deal. All right? And a DA don't do nothing but sit up there and write deals all day. And the DA sit up there at the bench and write, you know, got 50 cases and write, you know, out of 40 to 45 of them cases, people, they already know that Jake gonna take the deal. Okay, you know, give me time served or whatever. Esau don't got to go through that shit. All right, because they're not troubled like other men. It says they don't have troubles like other people. All right, this is the book of Sirach. Ecclesiastes 5 and verse 15. I have seen everything in this meaningless life, including death of good young people and the long life of wicked people. All right, they live long at the same time. They're able to escape certain judgments and live a long prosperous life. Okay, you think these devils that did these wicked ass crimes, biolabs and pedo rings, you think they're going back and they have to build their life over and build their image? No. Okay, they don't got to do none of that. They good. All right, they live long lives. It says verse in the KJV, all things have I seen in the days of my vanity. There is a just man that perisheth in his righteousness. There is a wicked man that prospereth his life his life in his wickedness. Their righteousness is wickedness. They prosper in wickedness. Okay, the scripture says, Job 9 and verse 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right, because Esau has the power to execute judgment. Okay, but they don't do it because they're the wicked. Okay, there's no righteousness in them. All right, and this is the wicked ass world we live in. All right, with the wicked ruling. So therefore, if wickedness is done, all right, especially by them, they're gonna prosper in it. All right, they even if they get caught red-handed, all right, there's no bands in their death. They're not trouble like other men. All right, and it was so effed up is they allow our people to prosper in wickedness. Okay, if you out there, being a drug dealer, being a gang member, all right, pushing a certain lifestyle towards our people, Esau will reward you. Okay, but if you're pushing righteousness, all right, and they're going to deem you wicked. All right, this whole world is just flipped upside down. Okay, and these devils really think that that they're going to get away with it. Like it's like you think this devil is worried about. Let me go to it. Let me go to the scripture first. You think this weirdo right here is worried about getting caught? You think he's in Israel or Tel Aviv or wherever he's at? You think he's over there, thinking about is a cop's going to kick in the door? They're going to come extradite me? Hell no, he's chilling. All right, the same with this pedo right here, and he's a government official over there. He's pedo. Just like with that incident that happened in New York, where they the small hats, they had underground tunnels and had baby beds and all types of shit in there. Then what did they do? They didn't investigate it. All right, they had underground pedo tunnels. Basically, what do? They filled it with cement to get rid of all the evidence. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? All right, who see it? Who's gonna basically like who gonna tell? And if they do tell, what judge is gonna prosecute us? All right, because they run this place. All right, they run Babylon. They run the world pretty much. What sorrow awaits for those that try to hide their plans from the Lord, who was this? Who do their deeds, their evil deeds in the dark? The Lord can't see us. They say He doesn't know what we're doing. That's what they really think. That their works or their wicked works are not going to come back to bite them because the Lord doesn't see them. The Lord don't see them doing wickedness. Ecclesiastes, excuse me, 8 and let me see, 11. It says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do to do evil. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know it shall be well with them that fear the Most High, which fear before Him. All right, their days have been prolonged. Okay, in Esau's mind, they think they're going to rule forever. They think that their wickedness, their wicked deeds are not going to come back to bite them in the ass. But we see it happening because a lot of the lower level Edomites, they're beginning to catch hell. They're beginning to have these curses fall upon them. All right, while the higher ups, all right, the wicked elite, all right, and they still not catching no hell yet. Okay, because they feel that they're like the scripture says in what is that? Psalms 49, that their houses shall continue forever. All right, verse 13, excuse me. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before the Most High. Things are not going to go well with him. They eventually, all their wickedness is going to come back to bite him in the ass. Okay, and this is part of that great revealing. All right, because ain't no one bringing this out. Ain't no one, you even got the news bringing it out. But at the end of the day, we know who controls the news. The Edomites. So they can bring it out, but at the same time, these news stations aren't going hard to persecute these devils, okay? Because they're bought and paid for. They'll bring it out, just act like, oh yeah, we caught one of them, but then what? All right, no one follows up on these stories, all right? Because at the end of the day, the news is bought and paid for, and the news is nothing more than entertainment. Okay, they'll put that shit out there because like I said, they'll make it seem like, oh yeah, we're doing a righteous work. The police made a drug bus, a biolab bus, or a pedo ring bus. All right, we're fighting crime. Well, at the end of the day, they part of the problem too, because this system is set up by the wicked left. Okay, but like I said, they're being revealed, or all of them being revealed. This whole system. All right, this whole Edomite ran system. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 7. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. All right, and we're in that time where the wicked is being revealed, and these weirdo pedos like him and the other guy, that's small fries. All right, the wicked elite are going to be revealed. All right, and the regular small hat, all right, walking around with the Shirley Temples and the in all black, they're going to get they're going to get they're going to get jacked up out here. Okay, because a lot, and I'm not inciting any violence against anyone, but at the end of the day, when people are frustrated, when people don't have food, all right, when people are don't have shit to lose, where are they gonna take it out of? They're gonna and Everyone's going to pinpoint who the cause of this is. All right, and you see a lot of them getting out of Dodge. A lot of them are going back to Tel Aviv and going back to Europe because they can sense, hey, what's about to take place, what's about to transpire, and they're gonna call it hate speech or hate crimes, or whatever. But at that point, people don't give a shit. All right. So, Lord, within this lesson was edifying unto the hopeful elect. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakakodash. Shalom.